My question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer remind the House how the Morrison government's strong and cautious management in helping the Australian economy to continue managing the ongoing challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic?
The Treasurer has the call.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Wentworth for his question and acknowledge his strong and effective advocacy on behalf of small and medium-sized businesses right across his electorate. Mr Speaker, it's a very difficult time for Australians right now. We've got millions of people who are in lockdown in New South Wales and in Victoria and indeed in Cairns today as well, Mr Speaker. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. The economy will bounce back as it has done so before. And we are there providing significant economic support in partnership with the state governments. We have announced income support for workers who have lost hours of work of between $450 or $750 a week, Mr Speaker. Around $2 billion has already been paid out to around 1 million Australians, including 700,000 Australians who reside in New South Wales. And today, legislation passed the Parliament to make those COVID disaster payments tax-free, Mr Speaker. Tax-free COVID disaster payments of $450 and $750. Now, there is also business support. And today, in partnership with the Marshall government, we announced a $40 million package, around $40 million of support for around 20,000 businesses in South Australia. Businesses in the tourism sector, businesses in the hospitality sector, businesses in the recreation sector in South Australia that will get economic support. And we've also reached an agreement with the Victorian government. We're providing hundreds of millions of dollars to businesses across that state. And in New South Wales, a 50-50 arrangement where businesses with a turnover of up to $250 million who have lost 30% or more of turnover, or seen a decline of 30% or more in turnover, will be eligible for payments of up to $100,000 a week, Mr Speaker. This is significant economic support, and this economic support will help Australian small and medium-sized businesses get to the other side. And we know that when we were facing an unemployment rate that could have reached as high as 15%, our economy bounced back, and today, in the most recent data, it was at 4.9%. And we heard from the Reserve Bank just last week in their statement of monetary policy that the recovery has been quicker and stronger, and that Australia's experience is that once restrictions are lifted, spending recovers strongly. And we've also heard from Standard & Poor's that, in its words, and I quote, it doesn't expect the current lockdowns across Australia to weigh heavily on the nation's AAA rating. Mr Speaker, we know our Australian economy is sound and will recover strongly.
Has concluded.